Welcome to another episode of Progress, Potential, and Possibilities, discussions with fascinating people designing a better tomorrow for all of us. I'm your host, Ira Pastor.
Welcome, everybody, again to another episode of the show, bringing another really fascinating guest for you today, involved in science, technology, biotech, creating a better tomorrow for many people out there. Today on the show, we have the honor of being joined by Dr. Raza Bokhari, who is Executive Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Medicus Pharma. They are a precision-guided biotech life science company. They're focused on accelerating the clinical development of programs of novel and potentially disruptive therapeutic assets that are ultimately designed to transform standard of care in many different indications. Dr. Bakari is a physician turned serial entrepreneur, has a really successful track record in not just building, but aggregating and accelerating life sciences, healthcare services, as well as pharmaceutical R&D. He is also the managing partner of RBX Capital, an investment fund focused on investing in biotech and life science companies. He previously served as the executive chairman and CEO of FSD Pharmaceuticals. They're pivoting that company from medical cannabis into clinical stage pharma R&D, doing a major institutional fundraising as well. Dr. Bakari has his medical degree from University of Punjab, Rawalpindi Medical College, went on to do his Executive MBA around the corner here at Temple. In addition to his various corporate roles, he also serves as a vice chairman of the World Affairs Council here in Philadelphia. He formerly served on the board of Temple University's Fox School as chairman of the Executive Advisory Committee, as well as a trustee of the Franklin Institute and Foreign Policy Research Institute. A lot to get into today. Really honored to have him with us. Dr. Raza Bokhari, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Ira. The honor is all mine. And I must thank you for all the good work that you have been doing, helping put spotlight on Greater Philadelphia and Southeastern Pennsylvania companies. So we really appreciate this opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot going on here. So no, I'm excited about it too. But before we get into what you're doing at Medicus and the business model, just to hand things to you for a couple more minutes, just to talk a little bit about you, because aside from medicine and going into biopharma, I mean, you have been very active and very successful in an area that we don't hear a lot about, and that is turnarounds. I mean, obviously, this is an industry that's tough to succeed in. There's a lot of failures, but you've been very successful in picking up a lot of those scraps along the way and building successful companies out of them. And I would just love to hear a little bit more about how you originally got interested in that particular area of our industry.
Well, we really appreciate that. Well, I've been very fortunate to have what we say more successes than failures, but we certainly have had our share of failures also, and it comes with the territory. It starts with a remarkably great team that I have cultivated over the years that stay with me to continue to help advance successful outcomes both at the board level as well as at the management level. So we have been working together, spanning from a few years to almost more than 20 plus years together. So it takes a village, and we certainly have the best of class around us in the biotech and life sciences space. The southeastern Pennsylvania and the East Coast in general also provides a lot of good opportunities to look at. We remain ignored under the shade of Boston and in the Northeast corridor. Clearly, New York is the gateway to everything, and San Diego and California really get all the attention. But what a whole lot of people perhaps forget, more than 80% of big pharma is in our 80 or 100-mile radius. Yep. And with Penn Medicine, Temple Heart, and others, Jefferson and other institutions that are here, and the Safeguard Scientific that was there at the turn of the millennium, we have an abundance of talent and opportunities in biotech, life sciences space. And I have just been fortunate to grow in this environment. And with Medicus Pharma, which is the latest umbrella that we are all assembled in together, we're very excited of what lies ahead for us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, looking at Medicus, and we'll get into the programs in a bit, but talk a little bit about your model, because it's quite unique. I, sort of look at it as sort of de-risking and deals, sort of, de-risking and then ultimately partnering, staying in sort of that mid-stage clinical development area where you learn a lot about the product, de-risk it, which is what pharma loves, and then quickly partner. Talk about this model, because clearly it's unique. You're not playing around at early stage at the bench and waiting several years until something gets an IND. You're really at a unique intersection of all things biotech and biotech partnering. It's a bit about the model, and then we'll slowly walk through some of the programs after that.
Appreciate that. So we value this shout out. Others are doing it too. We just feel that our uniqueness or a rare combination is to stay disciplined in this vertical of exploring those companies or assets that are either in phase 2 or are phase 2 ready. Pick these assets up and advance them through this proof of concept phase 2 study. Develop clinical designs which have a higher probability of coming up with decision grade data readout, and then pass the baton on to the bigger players, especially big pharma, to do late stage development and commercialization. Drug development is a team sport, and it is also an expensive sport. It requires a lot of capacity to take punches on the chin and be able to still withstand and double down on these time-honored beliefs in certain modalities that are novel and should find success. And as far as you could, which what we try to do, avoid temptations to step outside what we believe is the best value creation, and also complements big pharma rather than becoming competitors with them. So it's a role where we facilitate and enable so that the bigger companies can continue to focus more and more on what they are now consider that they do best, which is late stage development and commercialization. So that is something that has been well received so far for us, and we are very comfortable where we have these two assets with 3+ therapeutic areas in a phase 2 studies.
Absolutely. And let's walk into these because each one is quite elegant and again tells the story of how you think of the company and where you're going with the strategy. And I think a great place to be we start with SkinJet because here are sort of three pillars. One, a sort of old school chemo drug and doxorubicin, powerful but systemic toxicities. Focusing on basal cell carcinoma, which is a $5 billion market, projected to grow a lot in the next couple of years, usually taken care of by Mohs and other sort of external surgeries. And you're combining it with a very unique dissolvable microneedle platform. Put these three things together, you get SkinJet. It's elegant, it's exciting. Walk us through it. It's a great one.
I really appreciate it. There could not be a better way to describe than what you have said, Ira, that it is an elegant solution that Lou Fallow, the chair of dermatology at University of Pittsburgh, in collaboration with his colleagues at Carnegie Mellon, designed these uniquely designed cellulose-based microneedle arrays, which are patent protected, and SkinJet, which is a Pittsburgh-based Pennsylvania company that was and is our flagship company, where we have the exclusive rights to develop and commercialize treatment modalities using this innovative skin patch. The focus has been exclusively on basal cell carcinoma of the skin, which is the most common cancer, as you have mentioned, with 5 million new cases that are diagnosed every year just in the United States. Worldwide, perhaps this number is 30+ million or so. And the only known effective treatment is a surgical, a modified surgical procedure, Mohs surgery, which not only comes at a cost of about $15 billion annually, but also has a capacity limitation. In a given year, there are no more than 1 million or maybe 900,000 or so Mohs procedures are carried out because there are only so many trained Mohs surgeons. And that creates a backlog. An unmet emerges an unmet medical need where at a given time there are 7 million patients waiting in the queue for a treatment opportunity. So SkinJet, with utilizing microdoses of doxorubicin that are tip loaded on these microneedle arrays and is applied directly at the site of the lesion, stands to what we believe build a unicorn that could help redefine how non-melanoma skin diseases, especially basal cell carcinoma of the skin, is treated today. So it fills an unmet medical need. It also complements and makes the use of Mohs surgery more efficient. So those patients that we miss in our application over 2 weeks in 3 sittings in an outpatient setting, we hope that we can, at least our analysts believe that cover the company, that if we can give histological clearance in 1 out of 4 patients, we have a blockbuster on our hand. But I hope we can do better than 25%. We will find out soon enough because our phase 2 data read is about to. become available. So we're very, very excited of the possibilities that lie ahead for SkinJet.
Yeah, and again, it checks every box of your strategy, and known drugs, unmet need, phase 2 proof of concept that you can do, and ultimately the ability to hand this off in one way or another to larger players. Yeah, it's an elegant approach to a problem. So I applaud you on that. Yeah, the second technology, Tavarelix, trifluoroacetate. So I'll just again, you're taking a gonadotropin releasing hormone antagonist. You have some microcrystalline suspension pharmacokinetic magic. I'll just leave it at that. You put them together and you get a very slow release acting hormone that not just ping pongs from the blocks of the hypothalamus, trickles down in men or women to estrogen and testosterone production. And here, your opportunities are broad in the sense, looking at the prostate cancer related incontinence issues in men, a variety of indications in women, endometriosis to other issues, urinary retention, relapse, and so forth. Take us down this one, because again, this is quite broad, but again, very elegant, repositioning, let's say, of an older drug.
Yeah, I really appreciate the Ira, how you have set the stage for us to jump into speaking about Tavarelix. It is an exciting opportunity for us. But before I jump into, I want to go back to SkinJet to add some additional very important subset where SkinJet, being a very elegant solution using doxorubicin, also has an application in a rare autosomal dominant disease, Gorlin syndrome. There are about 10,000+ Americans that are inflicted with this rare disease, that have a normal lifespan, but they suffer from many morbidities, amongst others. A most compelling one, which is quite devastating, is multiple basal cell lesions throughout their lifespan. They are known to have several dozen, 500+, in head, face, and neck area, which makes surgical intervention physically disfiguring. And SkinJet, and they otherwise have no treatment opportunity. And SkinJet, we in the fall announced an alliance with a collaboration with the Gorlin Syndrome Alliance, and we believe that we have now have done enough research to say with confidence that SkinJet qualifies for an orphan drug designation for Gorlin syndrome, should also get what we believe a rare disease voucher attached to it, and that should fast track and become commercially available, what we believe in not so distant future, for these Gorlin patients, so that they can use this patch, and especially on their face and exposed skin surface, and get some relief, because the visual clearance or the clinical clearance of our patch is more than 60%. We are keenly looking for the histological clearance to come out, but as I said, the annals believe it is histologically good for 25% of the time. That's a blockbuster for basal cell. But for these patients, there are 10 or 11,000, just getting more than 60% visual clearance is a solution that otherwise have no treatment alternative. So we are very excited that we can fulfill an underserved population. And so more to come on that. But I'll pause if you have any follow-on questions on that, and then I would like to jump to Tavarelix, where all of our energy and focus is getting rallied around.
No, you can keep going. I mean, I'm pleased that I learned about Gorlin. I've never heard of it, and again, the connections to these thousands of rare, ultra rare diseases, and the fact that you're, looking up and down the chain here is admirable. Let's put it in that, just because it is, we don't hear about a lot of these, and yet they represent hundreds of millions of patients. So, again, impressive. But I'll let you take Tavarelix and run with that, and then.
Thank you. We just, as they say, that we just hit and discovered oil. We got successful second time around. There's not just SkinJet, there is a very high probability of success, but finding Tavarelix that came to us through acquiring this UK-based company, which has been working for 10 plus years and so far have a database of more than 400 patients that have Tavarelix has been used through these various investigational studies as a next generation GnRH antagonist. As you just had stated in your introduction, where this is a decapeptide, it is an injectable. Its uniqueness and sophistication comes in the formulation and its availability, bioavailability in an injectable form as an antagonist, where Tavarelix tends to compete with an existing injectable called Gorlin that has a lot of injection site challenges and has limited use. It's also coming off patents, but have not been widely used because of the injection site challenges that have been there. And Relugolix, which is an approved Pfizer drug that is currently in use for patients with advanced prostate cancer, is an oral formulation. It is certainly approved, is in use, but failed these MACE criteria and does not have a label used for cardiovascular protective outlook. And yep. Tavarelix has that opportunity for advanced prostate cancer patients. There are 300,000 to 500,000 men in the United States that live and rely on androgen deprivation therapy that could benefit from Tavarelix as a injectable that is also cardioprotective. And that is where we believe there is a value add in the advanced prostate cancer indication, and especially to explore that it could be cardioprotective. That property comes from Tavarelix's ability to suppress the FSH more than 40%. The existing agonists like Lupron and others and Relugolix, they while provide a hormone deprivation of the LH at a remarkable level, enough to create testosterone suppression of greater than 90%. Where they are lacking is in the suppression of LH or luteinizing, my apologies, FSH or the follicle stimulating hormone, and the a sustained suppression of FSH beyond more than which is getting them to levels far greater than 40%, which we believe that Tavarelix does I think at a very meaningful number, is where the cardioprotective properties come from. And so we're very excited that we took control of this asset. Earlier this week, we received a study may proceed determination from the FDA. So we are building momentum so we can complete a 40-patient dose optimization study and then segue into a pivotal study, which we hope we could do with in a co-development form with a partner. The second indication of Tavarelix that we have an approved phase 2 study is to prevent relapse of acute urinary retention patients that primarily show up in the emergency rooms, 1 million or so every year of your and my age and older that show up in the emergency room with acute urinary retention, primarily due to enlarged prostate. And the effective treatment is transurethral resection. It is a surgical treatment. I think that comes at a cost of several $billion, and without a surgical intervention, there is high propensity and probability of relapse, more than 50% relapse within 6 months, because the use of these alpha blockers or inhibitors is just not just sufficient for that. And we believe that Tavarelix in an injectable form could reduce the size of the prostate in volume and content, and can serve to prevent relapse of acute urinary retention. Our confidence stems from an 81-patient study of Tavarelix, which is published and is available, where it showed 11% of volume content reduction and 40% of volume reduction. And key opinion leaders like Steve Kaplan and Neil Shore have advised NTAV in this clinical design that we are now exploring how to get off the ground. So in men's health, we certainly are hitting the ground running to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, the people who watch the show know I had a father and a father-in-law that both had prostate cancer and experienced everything that you're talking about. So clearly a major unmet need here, and that you're fulfilling. Just say a couple words about the women, and because I know you have. I mean, the press release, the press just came out about the study may proceed and the FDA interaction there. What's going on the endometriosis front? Because I read something about the United Arab Emirates and some genomic study, phase 2 over there. Can you take us a little bit down where you're headed with that? And
yeah, well, appreciate you asking about that, Ira. We had announced at the turn of the new year that our abstract was accepted to present at the American Association of Clinical Endocrinology, where we would present our findings of a 48 healthy women study, where we were able to demonstrate that Tavarelix was bone mineral density sparing. So it had a positive profile for use in women. With that data read, we have been engaged with the OMIC lab in Abu Dhabi that has the largest genomic database in the world. UAE has been building this genomic mapping of all of their citizens, and I believe that they have a target to do 1 million of them, and I think they are somewhere in the 800 or 900,000 level now. So they carry the largest genomic database, and we are contemplating that where we could use a genomic enabled a proof of concept study in women with symptomatic endometriosis. So an androgen deprivation therapy could be very beneficial. There is no effective treatment or a meaningful treatment for endometriosis, which is an ailment that inflicts I believe several hundred thousand women, and is a challenge. Also, uterine fibroid is another area where you could use a hormone suppression therapy, but we are going to take a genomic access to this genomic mapping, try to do patient stratification through this PK PD module information, and see that we could do a cost effective and a targeted study that could also demonstrate efficacy of Tavarelix. So far, we certainly have demonstrated that at this dose level that we had used, that I forget what that was, that it was bone mineral density sparing, and that's really is the trick in women, that anytime you use and post-menopausal, but even otherwise, any hormone suppression therapy has a trade-off in depleting the minerals. So more to come with respect to that. We are in an early stage of that, but we believe that in women health, Tavarelix has a possible role to play. So appreciate the opportunity to speak about that.
Yeah, no, it's again, it's showing not just the ability to repurpose and to develop these new dosage forms, but some of these things, these other, like the cardiovascular deaths per prostate cancer that we don't really think about, but that's a major chunk of those men. And again, the fact you're coming up with these other aspects, it's quite impressive. You know, I mean, the recent press just came out, and obviously in this, aside from sort of the SkinJet and the Tavarelix clinical work, it mentions Gorlin syndrome, it mentions the UAE work. There's some other stuff in here, and I was wondering, I mean, if this stuff's confidential, you don't have to talk about it, but there's something about a mRNA platform that you're evaluating potentially. There's another sort of AI decision intelligence company you're looking at. Clearly, you wear both hats, and this is all connected in terms of both investment and the company. But can you tell us what else is going on, or if it's too early, you don't talk about it if it's confidential?
No, we are. The good news about us is, as a company that is in the public domain, listed on NASDAQ, where we get evaluated every day by our shareholders from 9:30 to 4, and sometimes in the after-hour trading. Everything that we do finds its way to be available in the public domain. And in that sense, we are very excited that we have formed a collaboration with Reliant AI. It's a company that is, I think, headquartered in Montreal with offices in Berlin and London. There is a generative AI company focused on life sciences sector. And our interaction with them is to use their platform with our proprietary data, how we could improve and incorporate artificial intelligence in drug development. Artificial intelligence has made a lot of advances and covered a lot of ground in drug discovery. There is not a lot of focus, and we believe that we are doing some groundbreaking work where we can make our phase 2 studies and a more capital and time efficient through dynamic site selection, a PK/PD informed patient stratification in some forecasting simulation models. So it is something where we believe that we are ahead of the curve and certainly are leveraging all the tools that are becoming available and adopt them so that we can increase the probability of success in our proof of concept studies. So that is on Reliant, and you had mentioned about these mRNA vaccine.
Yeah.
We have an early stage collaboration with this very remarkable company called Helix Nano that have a proprietary agent that can microdose mRNA vaccines. And the mRNA vaccines that is which helped us prevail over the COVID pandemic. The big challenge in vaccines in general, including the mRNA vaccine, is the cold storage, transport, and logistic challenges that add what I believe $8 to $10 of cost in every dose. We are exploring with them through some bridging studies to see that if we could use our skin patch to tip load microdoses of mRNA vaccine and make them thermostable. And if we can we succeed in that, we would have found a solution to the cold storage logistic challenges that are there. So we are in some early doing some early things. It's driven by Helix Nano and Lou Fallo, the chair of dermatology and the inventor of Skin Patch, and us in our SkinJet company, where we believe that there is something to look at. But we will hopefully have a lot more to talk about towards the second half of this year.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed that you're going to be obviously representing the company at Bio in a couple months out in San Diego. I assume you're just getting back from JP Morgan a couple weeks ago. But anything else on the calendar that we should know about in terms of you and your travels, whether it's scientific conferences, investor conferences? And then, we started off this conversation talking about Philly, where we're both hanging out right now. But anything hot on the Philly bioscience front that's going on? Not the investments you're making, but any other cool things you're involved in here?
They say no rest for the wicked. So we are certainly dividing up the effort. Our chief medical officer, Faisal Mahmood, that is based out of London, comes out of 20 plus years of big pharma. He is a medical oncologist by training. Certainly is, I think, making appearances at ASCO and other scientific conferences. I think he's going to certainly represent us at the American Association of Clinical Endocrinology Conference. Our chief scientific officer, Dr. Ed Brennan, he has a few things under his umbrella to make appearances. I try to take a podium at least once a month in some forum, more focused on the towards the investment community. They have an interest more and more towards institutional grade investors, but we certainly rely immensely on retail investors that have supported us for this time. We have just celebrated a 1-year anniversary on NASDAQ. So we are, anytime we get an opportunity to speak, we welcome this. And this is no exception for us, for you to give us time on your podcast, Ira, and which is right close to our home, because we are predominantly a Philadelphia-based company with active business interest in, I think, 8 or 9 countries spread over 3 continents. So needless to say, we are raking up more than few travel miles. So exciting times ahead for us.
Yeah, you definitely have a busy 2026 coming up, and these are novel, they are disruptive therapeutic assets, and I look forward to continue to follow the company, your investment activities. But it's a very impressive portfolio you've put together there with a very small but mighty team behind you. So kudos to that. Again, for everybody out there that is going to be listening to this episode across the various podcast networks, or who will be watching on the YouTube channel. Again, you've been spending time with Dr. Raza Bokhari, Executive Chairman, Chief Executive Officer at Medicus Pharma, Managing Partner, RBX Capital. Raza, I want to thank you again for taking the time out of your schedule to come on the show today, talk to us for a little while about your portfolio. Thank you for everything you do for patients with these novel assets. And as we like to say here on our show, thanks for helping to create a better tomorrow for patients. Really an awesome story, and I look forward to continue to follow it.
Thank you so much, Ira, for this opportunity. We hope we come back on your podcast sooner with some updates. We are approaching a database lock for our SkinJet phase 2 study, and we are very hopeful that we could have a partnering opportunity before the end of this first half that brings that demonstrates that we can execute, and also brings some non-dilutive capital on our balance sheet. So we would very much welcome an opportunity to come back and provide some updates to our progress.
It'll be an honor to have you. And have a successful next part of 2026, and come right back. It's a great story and a really great avenue.
Thank you so much, sir.
Be well.